southern Iowa, north Missouri, you can't beat this area during a rut. Oh, it's a buck. It's a good buck coming this way. Here he comes, he's coming up the hill. He's 40 yards. Gets up here, I'm gonna take him.
Sometimes the difference between success and failure for an entire season can come down to one minor detail.
In this week's episode, Deadly Fronts, Buckman Jake Mestad and myself take great bucks by paying attention to the weather fronts that are moving in.
When the temperature drops, mature whitetails generally get on their feet and start moving.
Coming up this week on Buckman. You might know me from my early years with Drury Outdoors, both in television and video. But what you don't know is I've worked hard all my life to bring you, the viewer, giant whitetails. That's why we created Buckman. Everyday working class hunters like you taking giant whitetails year after year, and our story behind each one of those deer that taught us a lesson. That's our passion, that's our lives, and that's why we are Buckman.
I'm a full-time college student. I'm an HVAC service tech. When the fall rolls around, I'm a Buckman.
All right, well, it's September 21st. We're in southeastern Minnesota. Back up in the same stand we were out last night. We saw 3 shooters, but unfortunately we got rained out before anything could happen. So we're hoping they'll come out and give us a shot tonight, so stay tuned. It's a little after 6. We just shot our first deer. Is one of our bucks on our hit list. He's a pretty nice 8-pointer. Just came running across the field and just went into the woods. So the deer moving. So hopefully we'll come back around us. That'll give us a shot. So stick with us.
Alright, well, we're going to stand for about an hour, try to have a deer pouring on the field.
I don't know if that's him or not. Might be the other 8-pointer. Acting goofy. Alright, well, we just saw the split G2 buck. It's awesome. Got our blood pumping pretty good. So it's in the area, so that's good.
Well, the buck stayed in the clover strip all night. We had some good footage of them sparring, but unfortunately none of them came in. We decided to switch it up and go after a buck we call beanpole.
Alright, well, we just saw our first deer of the night. It's about 5:30. It's still really early. The fawn came in about 10 yards, ate at one of the apple trees, then walked up into the alfalfa field and walked off. So it's a good sign the deer's starting to move. So hopefully we'll see some bucks pretty soon. So stay tuned.
All we saw was a fawn, and Devin and I were just sitting there a couple hours later, and all of a sudden he looked up and said, "Big buck coming."
Big buck on the tractor trail, 30 yards. years. I pegged him. He came in at the 10 yards. Oh, I'm so excited right now. Dude, my God.
We knew it was a good shot, but I decided to back out, wait for my brother to get done working, and come help us track him. Smoked this drill along the 10 yards. Oh, that's smackdown.
God, I'm jealous of what you're doing out there, dude.
It's awesome.
It's awesome, dude. I can't wait to go for him.
We gave it about 3 hours. We waited for my brother to come up. We went back, grabbed one of my neighbors. We reviewed the footage, and it's a good shot. Hopefully we'll be finding him. So come along with us. So here's where we found first blood. We're gonna look around and see if we can find the trail.
What if I told you I see your buck in a hole?
You lying to me?
I ain't lying, I see tines. He's right here, dude.
Oh my God! Give me some, bud. You turd, you did it 3 times.
He's right there.
Oh, keep it on him. Alright, well, here he is. We couldn't be happier. We got beanpole. He's actually a little bigger than we thought. He's a 13-pointer. We got trail cam pics of him right 20 yards from the stand. Came straight from our SWP mineral site. We had an apple tree about 10 yards in front of us and came straight into it. Presented me a little quarter and away shot. Only went about 60 yards. My first buck with a bow and my first buck in 4 years. I couldn't be happier. We're put in a lot of time for this buck and paid off in the end. God.
You know, here it is, the roaming phase of the rut, and we should be heading into the chasing phase of the rut, and they're still fighting and sparring trees, so we'll see what happens. We'll be back. You're watching Buckman TV. We're going to hunt a food plot tonight. We got southwest wind. I don't have a lot of southwest wind stand choices, so this stand happens to be right on a nice real-world wildlife food plot. We'll see what happens. It's November 4th. The rut's starting to kick in, roaming phase of the rut. There's scrapes right there. We're late getting in here. It's already 20 after 3. We just got in a tree here at 3, which is really late for this time of year. It's November 4th. There's something going up the hill, Dylan. It's a buck. I can't tell how big he is. It's going away. I'm gonna have to rattle. Here he comes, here he comes. Nice 9-point. I think we saw him this morning. He's coming around behind us here. Well, that little buck came charging in on the horns, and again, that's a sign that it's getting ready to pop.
You know, early in the season, deer hunters are pretty passive. They're sitting on a feeding pattern, trying to catch a deer between feed and bed. But as you start seeing scrapes and activity of the rut starting to pick up, that's when you can become more aggressive. Start using your calling tactics, such as rattling, grunt calls, and things like this, and start throwing other tricks at those deer.
The next time you do a rattle sequence, I mean, it could be a shooter buck. You just don't know. It's a good buck coming this way. To that deer, I think that was the buck we call heavy. Hey, that's what happens when you're late getting the shooter. I think he'll come to us. That's a good buck. You know, it's been a tough season, and finally, things are coming together. Here he comes. Here he comes. He's coming up the hill. He's coming to us. He's coming to us. He gets up here, I'm gonna take him. All I need is 10 more yards, and that buck is going to be right in a clear shooting lane. He's already right at 40 and coming. Self-filming makes taking a trophy whitetail even harder than when you have a cameraman filming you. It is very, very tough. My hat's off to the guys out there that film themselves kill bucks, because we've got all kinds of trail camera pictures of Lucky, and he finally shows. I'm really wondering what what age buck he is. I can't determine whether he's 3.5 and 4.5. I know if I get a shot at him, I'd probably take him. There he goes. There he goes. Wow. Well, there he went, and you know, I guess the wind switched a little bit, but he definitely was the biggest buck I've had in so far this year. That's how my season has went. My heart about came out of my chest. That was a bona fide shooter. I think that's the buck we saw this morning. You didn't get to see him on camera, but he is out on his feet. That is the fourth buck we've seen tonight. They're on their feet, November 4th. They are out roaming, and I almost got that buck shot. He was within bow range. I thought he'd come up the hill, and he got our wind, so. Wind switched a little bit, caught a little wind, out he went. Walked out of my life that day, and I'm telling you, what a disappointment.
Real World Wildlife Products presents Buckman. Working class hunters, giant whitetails. Buckman is brought to you by Mossy Oak. It's not a passion, it's an obsession. Matthews, catch us if you can. Vortex Optics. Double B Calls, American made, custom built, patented technology. Scientific Wildlife Products.
You have years like this. This is real world. This is it. I mean, we don't have big monster bucks parade by us every single day. It just doesn't happen, even during a good rut. So when it's tough, it's really tough. I'm going back to my Missouri farm. You know, it's a spot net one draw that we have on that farm, and there is big buck sign in there. This is the time to hunt your rut travel corridor, so that's what we're gonna do. We'll go get in a tree. Big one's behind. The chase is on. When you see those 2.5-year-olds chasing does, you know the rut is really starting to kick in. Here comes a big one back. He's grunting. Listen to him. Okay, well, that was cool. It's the chase phase. It's transitioned from the roaming to the chase phase. And right now, just a 2.5s. 2.5s and small 3.5s are chasing. You saw that buck, that bigger of the 3 bucks, just rutting. Well, there are definitely different tactics you can use throughout the rut. In my case, you know, we're talking about November, especially early November. You're going to want to hunt scrapes, and you want to hunt food sources where does are going to come check. And guess what's going to come check after the does? The bucks. During the peak of the rut, you got to hunt the does, strictly the does, in the security cover, in the travel corridors between doe beds, things like that. And then when it turns back to post-rut, you got to go back to the food sources and hope that a good buck is still wanting to check for available does. So different rut tactics for different times of the rut will definitely play the odds in your favor. Well, here I sit in the rain. No hunting today at all. No chance to get out and film. It's just constant rain. It's easy to get discouraged, but you know what? The worst day out there in a rut in southern Iowa, northern Missouri beats the best day back at work. This evening I'm gonna head for a food plot I call the schoolhouse plot. We got a southerly southeast wind, which is perfect for this food plot. Been actually kind of waiting for that wind in this time of year. We're set up on a real world wildlife food plot. On the north part of this farm, we've got a southerly, actually southeast wind flow, perfect. The big bucks are getting with the does right now. So what am I doing? I'm going back to hunting the does. And this is a great food plot where the does will come out and feed, and we might get a shooter come out and check them. So if we get one of those big ones we've been getting on trail camera, you're in for a treat. Perfect, perfect. Good bucket of timber. It's a shooter, it's a shooter. He's going right to left through this timber. I don't know if he's coming to the food plot or not. I'm gonna have to call. He heard it, he heard it, he heard it. Here he comes, here he comes. That's a good buck, that's a good buck. Big tall tines. Got him. He's done. He's done. He's done. Go down. Go down. Go down. Go down. Wow. I almost got that. I think that's the same buck I almost got last night. We couldn't get him on film. He's not the biggest buck that we've got here on this farm, but he's a major deer. He's a good looking deer. And I've hunted so hard and so long. And here it is, November 19th, and we got the job done. My first buck for Buckman, and it's a long time coming. I'm telling you, we work so hard, and for everything to come together just like that, it's tough. So I'm proud of that buck. I know there's bigger bucks here. Doesn't make a difference. He's big, he's mature, great big tall tines. And I was excited to just get a shot at him. I haven't had a shot at a shooter this entire season. Wow, I'm just admiring this beautiful 8-point buck. He's not the monster of the woods. I've got bigger bucks on this farm, no question. But I'm running out of vacation, and I'm not making excuses. I haven't had a shooter in front of me, and this is the first big, mature buck that I've had a chance to shoot. And I'm proud of him. He's a big, solid 8-point, great brow tines, great main beams, big, long, sweeping points. Can't be any happier. It didn't look like he was coming to the food plot. And I got my nightingale grunt call out, and I gave him a couple soft grunts, and here he came, right to the food plot. And I think he was more interested in eating in the food plot. But he gave me a good shot, and sometimes you just gotta shoot a buck to get your confidence back. And this one here gained my confidence because I absolutely drilled this gorgeous buck. Big, mature 8-point here in the Midwest, November 19th. I can't be any happier. You're watching Buckman TV. We'll be back next week with more Buckman TV. I hope you enjoyed the show.